Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Manny and Shan's reality rundown show. Today, we're going to be talking about this week's episodes of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Salt Lake City, and OC. We've got a lot of thoughts, so welcome in, everybody. Shan, hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here for another legendary show. Make sure y'all hit the like button when you come in. Hey, chat.
Yes, this is
Everybody.
this is our fifth show. I
I
was looking.
know. Shout
This
out
is
to the consistency, y'all.
Yes, this is our fifth full show. So, without further ado, let's get started with The Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to be talking about season 9, episode 4. Shan and I were not really blown away by it. It was kind of like whatever, but there's still a few things to talk about. So they just got to North Carolina to have their little girls trip that Mia organized at Lake Norman. And let's kind of just get started with the first major thing of the episode, Shan. Let me ask you this before I even go into it. Shan, would you ever be fighting another female to see who is going to be the sidekick to another woman?
The day I do, you need to slap me in the face and say, B, are you stupid?
Oh my
I
gosh.
would never. Like Jacqueline. It's just,
Yeah,
why is she here?
that was so odd. So to put into context, Jacqueline and Jassy kind of get into it over who is going to be Mia's sidekick, which again, ladies, have uh,
Class,
some
self
decorum.
respect,
What's the
self
word?
esteem,
Self-esteem. Yes, have
some
some self-esteem.
demureness. That's not a word.
Yes. Well, it could be. It could be. No, but yes, have some self-esteem. Don't fight who's gonna be the sidekick. That's just that's
But
too
I
much.
think Jazzy was being sarcastic though. It was like a little
Yes,
shade.
but
I don't think she was legit fighting, but I think maybe Jacqueline thought she was
Jacqueline was
being
taking it
serious.
seriously.
Right.
But I like how quick Jazzy is with it.
Yeah, I like her. They can get rid of Ashley, Jacqueline, and just keep Jazzy. She's done
Yeah.
more than both of them put together.
Yeah, because so Jacqueline is saying to Jazzy, I am Mia's side, like I am her friend, and then she starts getting up and saying, I am the whole package. And then Jazzy's quick with it. She said, from the neck up. Oh, shade. But
That
anyway,
was so funny.
that was shady. But anyway, they kind of whatever. That was a little dumb argument. Then Jacqueline and Karen get into it because Jacqueline had told the group that when Karen called her, she sounded drunk. And Karen is going in on her. And it leads to Jacqueline being in tears. Now, Shan, what did you think about this? I think Karen was going at her pretty harshly. I mean, when she was like, I don't give a damn if she's crying. She can cry till the cows come home.
I was like, damn, Karen,
Yeah.
because I didn't know she was so upset. But then when I think about it, she's already dealing with this DUI situation. And so you don't want somebody to, if it's not true, right? We don't know if it's true or not. If it's not true, you don't want somebody to be like, yeah, you were drinking or whatever. Like, that's not something you joke about because of the situation Karen is currently dealing with. So I understand why Karen was so furious. It's like, I'm trying to deal with this. And then here you are adding more stuff pertaining to drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
totally.
I was surprised she cried because, girl, you on a reality show. You better get some reading lessons. You better say something back. It's okay to cry, but I felt like she was trying to be shady towards Karen. And then when Karen called her out, she was crying. It's like
Hmm.
if you start something, finish it.
That part. 100%. And listen, I totally agree. I mean, I actually believe Jacqueline's story. I do think that Karen called her, and she probably did sound drunk, because as we have seen, Karen has a pattern of doing that to some of the ladies. So eh, I don't, I'm not saying that Jacqueline is a liar, but like Shan said, clearly Karen is trying to. Well, we already
Deflect.
discussed this. Yeah, we already discussed this in the last two shows. She does not want to go to jail, because this is not like a one-time incident. This has been a few times, and it wasn't just a DUI, you guys. It was 8 other violations. So I don't think she will get jail
It
time eventually. I
was.
do think she will probably just. I honestly, Shan, I think she might. They might revoke her access to ever getting a license again. I think, but I don't know. But
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think she had multiple DUIs. Did she?
Yes,
It's,
this was not her first one.
oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and that's why she's been
Karen
trying to.
girl.
This is why she's been trying to get thrown out of the court, but they said hell no. But yeah, at the time this was being filmed, I could totally see why Karen wanted to, not have that image. But like I said, even though I agree with Jacqueline and what she said, Jacqueline, if you're gonna go at someone, especially an OG like Karen, you have to keep it together. Like, go big or go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna do something, do it right. Um,
Right, because she started it. So it's like you can't say something about me and then when I react, like be like, oh no, I'm the victim. Because that's what it was giving.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you're gonna do it, you better hit a home run.
Right.
Like, we
That
know
part.
the OGs, Kenya Moore, Phaedra Parks, they would. Could you imagine them crying? Hell no.
And guys, before y'all start, it's okay to cry. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that Jacqueline started it and don't start mess if you can't handle the retaliation of the
Yes. And the worst of Nicki Minaj, if you can't handle the heat, stay
get
out of
off the
it.
pot, okay? If you're not ishing, get off the pot.
Yeah. No, definitely. So yeah, Jacqueline tried to come at Karen, but even though Jacqueline might have had facts, Karen ultimately has. She is the grand dame after all, so she will run circles around you. Not
Right.
not the judge, but on the Housewives, she will. She will run circles around them. So then
Oh man, you're
everybody,
hilarious.
so shady. So everybody gets their room. I thought it was really nice that, listen, even though I don't really like her, I am glad that Wendy is being treated well this season. Because the
But
last
now,
two seasons, she had drinks thrown in her face. She was accused of voodoo. So at least this season, they had the entire room decorated for her 40th birthday, and they really were giving her the queen treatment. Wouldn't you say so, Shan?
I was surprised. I want to give a little small kudos to Mia,
Mhm.
Messy Mia, because she did a good job with the decorating Wendy's room and all that, trying to put the past behind them. The rooms look beautiful. So I was happy, like you said, that they're treating Wendy a little bit good.
Yeah, and even when they all went to the room, they all started singing "Happy Birthday," including Giselle. So I'm glad Wendy. And you know what? This might be a good way for her to for this to be her last season. So
Yes.
so it's like, you've had your drama, you've gone through it,
I
and
love
at
when you
least
put
your
that.
farewell season is a peaceful one.
I get what you're trying to say. Wendy, we don't need you anymore. Bye.
No, honestly, after this season, we are going to have to get rid of Wendy and Ashley.
I feel like Ashley, I don't know. She'll never leave. She'll
They should.
every season I feel like because she doesn't bring much to the show except mess, but I guess because they like the mess, because reality TV has to be a little messy. But I feel like Ashley is always going to be on the show.
Can you imagine Ashley being like 80, still on the show, still being messy? I
But
can't.
yeah, Wendy, I agree with you. That'll be a good, my last season thing. But I like Wendy. Ugh, I go back and forth. I go back and forth. I do.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, so yeah, she's just kind of just there. Um, One of the things that was talked about this episode that Mia brought up was the fact that Stacy is boring. She said, "Oh, she's so boring," and then Karen tells Stacy, "Listen, the girls think you're boring." Um, do you think she's boring?
Yes.
Oh,
Super boring.
really?
She's beautiful though, gorgeous, beautiful
Yeah.
gowns, but definitely boring. Definitely boring.
Beautiful gowns.
And it's not
No.
because she's classy or together. That's not why. Because she was saying like people they aren't used to seeing like somebody like her, whatever, whatever. I just feel like she doesn't really add anything. She's gorgeous though, stunning girl. But yeah, boring. They didn't lie. What do you think?
I I actually disagree with you. I don't think she's boring. I think she's I think we're getting to know her. It's her first season, but I would much rather have someone who we get to know a little bit more slowly than to have someone just right out the bat be like, bam, 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 because like it's like, whoa, settle down. So I don't know. I
Oh,
kind of
like
like
your favorite
Stacey.
housewife. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
No, but I thought it was a little rude because okay, so after Karen tells her that, they then all get on a boat, and the boat was divided into two sections, and one of the sections all the newbies sat, and in the other section all the the normal ones sat. Not normal, but like
The
the
regulars.
regular ones, yes. And when Stacy gets over there, they pretty much all tell her, "Yeah, we think you're boring." Listen, Jacqueline started crying. I might have started crying right there. When you got a whole group of people telling you you're boring,
Yeah, I like how she handled it though,
she handled
because
it
that
well.
can really hurt your ego. Like, damn, you're on a reality show. You're not supposed to be boring. And then they're all telling you, like, yeah, we don't think you're this. But on the other hand, a part of me, even though I do think she's boring, like you said, a part of me is like, is it because she's new? She's trying to feel everybody
Hmm.
out, ease her way into it. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because you said that. Because that could be a thing too, where she's not showing all her personality because she's new and she's nervous, you know?
Right. Yeah, I get that. And listen, if compared to Mia, you're boring. Boring might be a good thing.
That part.
You know
That
what
is
I'm
a
saying?
word. Amen.
Because Mia is just crazy. But anyway, yeah. So they're on this little boat. Oh my God, Kriana. Why is she on the show? So they're on the boat, and she starts saying that she has a problem with Ashley because of the whole GNA event from last season. And she said that charges are pending with Deborah. First of all, I'm pretty sure that must have gone thrown out by now. What charges? Girl, you threw the first punch. We saw that video.
Well, Stacy asked her, she was like, who do you have an issue with? I think that Kiana, I like her. She's beautiful, but she's not giving anything to the show either. But they had a whole fight. So, of course, I guess they pressed charges against each other. I don't know the whole story about the charges situation, but she was asked a question and she answered it.
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if I were the judge, because I've seen the footage, I would say this was remember when Candace and Monique sued each other? What did the judge said? He was like, this was a mutual fight. Like there's no
Yeah.
need to charge. Because they were all like in an altercation. Yeah, Deborah threw the little wine at Candace, but it was Kriana that hit her. But whatever, that doesn't really matter. But Kriana, as far as Shan,
I
even
thought she would give more to the show.
even if she was a friend, okay, but a full time housewife?
Yeah. Is Jazzy a full time housewife?
No, they
I
should
like
have
her. I
swapped
really
them.
like her so far. I feel like she could be there. I don't know. I feel like the show again. It's like I miss Candace. Okay, I need Candace. The good thing is Karen is funny, so Karen gave me what Candace gave in her confessional. Like she's very witty, you
Mhm.
know. But yeah,
But okay, tell me if you agree with
I feel
this.
like this season isn't good.
Tell me,
It's okay, but it's not good to me. I was bored watching this episode, to be honest.
tell me if you agree with this. They should have swapped Jassy and Kriana. Jassy should have been full time, and Kriana should have been a friend of.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. And then Kriana was. Did you catch that conversation they had in the car where she said that she likes
Like the older men
the
and stuff
older
like that. They were
man?
talking about dating.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was bored too with that.
even that was boring.
I feel like this episode was so boring.
It was so boring. Yeah, let's wrap this episode up. So after the little boat, they then get to a house where Mia has some friends who live there. Because remember, this is Mia's strip, so
Yeah.
she's well connected there, I guess. Also, she said that she actually moved there when she graduated high school with ink. That's interesting. So they go to this house and they're having
I don't even
dinner.
believe Mia half the time, to be honest with you. I don't know
Listen,
what's real or what's, a story.
or yeah, or what's made
Allegedly.
up, or what's made up. So they're at the dinner table, and Karen, no, I'm sorry, Gizelle brings up what happened with the whole event thing of Karen doing it last minute. And actually, this is to another point towards Gizelle Shan, is that Wendy asked her to bring it up that night so that then the next day, which was her birthday, there wouldn't be any fights. So I thought that was really nice that Giselle respected that, and she was like, "Yeah, okay," and she did bring it up. And Karen was trying to be shady, but Giselle wasn't. Giselle said, "No, like it hurt my feelings," and they kind of just agreed that they would be better at communicating. That went pretty well, considering Giselle and Karen. You would have thought it would have been like a back and forth type of thing, like your fiery box and sing and all this stuff. But it wasn't. It was really good. What do you think of that?
I don't know. Do you believe this whole Gizelle is so nice this season act? Because I think it's an act. Because I don't know. Giselle is on an apology tour. And I truly believe it's because she wants to be friends with these girls. Because she doesn't have a true close friend that has her back. Like Robin is not there anymore. So it's like you can't be enemies with everyone. I don't believe her apologies are genuine. I just don't.
Mm.
Do you believe? Because I feel like she's so quick to apologize now. In the past, we couldn't get an apology out of her. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's just like, I'm sorry. Every time. Which I love the growth and I appreciate it. But my question is, I don't know if it's genuine.
Right. I think it is. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay. If you, I don't know. Okay. I'll be the more optimistic person. I really do think that the death of her father, combined with her best friend being fired and her enemy being fired as well, just made her have a much better mindset.
Eh, eh, eh. Candace was not fired. I see what you did there.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, no, I do think that. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm liking, because for her to have quickly apologized to the ladies for kicking them out, for her to have moved on with Wendy, for her to come to resolution with Karen, it's pretty positive. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on that to see what happens. But then
Yeah, but
after
I
the
do like this part of Giselle though. I
yeah,
am enjoying
yeah,
her this season.
yeah,
I
it's
like
really
her
nice.
being nice than just being a biatch.
For sure. So after that, Giselle then leaves because she has to go to her daughter's some event at school, but she'll be back. And then when she leaves, there are some more of Mia's friends that joined the table, and there is a specific friend named Joy. Now, Karen knows Joy. Matter of fact, there was a night when Karen, Mia, and Joy hung out, and it is now being said at this table, Mia is bringing it out, that night when Joy and Mia left Karen accidentally butt dialed them. And they heard Karen say, "Those girls think I'm with Ray, but I'm not." And that's where the episode ended. What did you think of that, Shan? I believe it.
Mia is so messy. When you hang out with somebody, what you do and talk about when you hang out, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So for her to bring it up at the table, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was very much messy. I would not do anything with Mia. Like I would not hang out with her and get drunk or anything because like you don't know when she's gonna throw it in your face. Because that's what it gave. Like, oh, let me embarrass you at this table. You know what I mean?
Well, actually,
But
I saw the clip of tomorrow's episode, and Mia actually did that because in her way, that was her way of protecting Jacqueline, or like kind of, getting back at Karen.
what? Oh,
Earlier
okay,
that day.
like defending Jacqueline because
Yeah.
because Karen made her cry. Okay, that makes sense. But when Karen said that Jacqueline does not fit in with Mia's other group of friends, what
Yeah.
did you think about that?
Well, I could definitely tell that Jacqueline was a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if this has ever happened to people where, like, there's a friend of yours who you're really good friends with, but then they invite their other friends who you're not really that close to. There is awkwardness. So I think that's what Jacqueline was feeling. But I don't know, Shan. All of Jacqueline, I mean, all of Mia Mia and her friends, they just give me like, I don't know, weird vibes. Like I feel like they'd be doing freak offs and things like that over there in Lake Norman. I don't know.
Allegedly. Oh my god.
Don't you get that feeling?
Allegedly. No, I don't.
Oh, well.
But I do think, Jacqueline, if you're going to be on this show, sweetie, we need you to focus on Jacqueline. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about Jacqueline. All I know is she's Mia's friend. Oh no, she's Mia's number one friend. Like, girl, we don't care. And another thing we don't care about is if Karen is with her husband or what she said in the car. Because I feel like this Karen allegedly, not being with her husband or whatever. It's like it's so old now,
Right.
and I don't care about it.
And we all kind of know that it's true because even 2 seasons ago, Candace, your fave, even
Period.
she brought this up.
Yeah, I feel like
She
they always
said
bring it up.
that
Bring up something
people
else.
saw Karen leaving town with another man that was not Ray. So it's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, allegedly.
Same old, same old. But for a moment, I was like, oh wow, is this the Mia Thornton show? I mean, it's Mia, which she has two friends on the show, Jassy and Jacqueline. This was her trip in her hometown of Lake Norman. Then they go
Oh
to a house
wow.
with her friends. I was like, oh, this is like Mia's show this week.
All right. I like how you put
Mhm.
that together. I didn't even catch that. You're right. It was Mia, Mia. Mia was the focus
Mia
mostly.
was the whole, yeah. So
But what did you think about Stacy being excited about the bump beds?
I thought that was so funny. Like that's why I think also why I like her because she kind of brings this element of like kookiness, like in a good way. Cause everybody thought she was gonna freak out, right? Like, cause who wants to sleep in bunk beds? But when they showed her that she had to share the bed with Kriana and the bunk beds, and she was like, "Yay! I've always wanted a bunk beds." I was like, "Okay, I like this different kind of different."
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I was glad that we were able to see something different because usually we see these housewives trips on all the shows and they're all fighting over a room and the type of bed, not the type of bed, the type of room, the bed, the this, the that. And so I was happy that she was positive about it because you're on a trip, right? Try to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, you're right. But let me tell you something. If I was like a housewife and we were doing trips and I didn't get my own room, I would I wouldn't stay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I was
I'm
on
go-
a bump bed, it would be sayonara, bitches.
I would have to go to a nearby hotel because I can share a bed. I don't have a problem with that, but I need my own bathroom and I need my own place to get dressed. I don't know why. Ever since
Right.
I was a child, like I just don't like my. Oh, yeah, I can do it. I can do it, but
You need your space. Yeah. Giving her bump bed was kind of crazy because they all had regular beds.
yeah,
I would have wanted to go to a hotel too. But
for sure. Okay, well, I think that
shout
was
out
pretty
to her
much.
positivity.
Yeah, shout out to that positivity for sure. But I think that was pretty much it for the Real Houses of Potomac, right? Do you have anything else to say?
Yep. That was it.
All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 7. This was a pretty good episode. It looks like next week it's gonna get crazy. But let's stick to this episode. So the episode begins with us kind of finishing off the fight. Lisa and Whitney got into it. Lisa then goes up to Justin and says, "What is wrong with your wife? She's a liar." He says, "Don't call my wife an effing liar." John gets handsy. They start going at it. They separate. Mary does her blessing. And then when Lisa is talking to Justin and Whitney, Justin, as soon as he opens his mouth, here comes John about to like almost tackle him. And he's like, "You do not need to talk to her." Damn. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Which one's John and which one's Justin again? Because the
John
two
is,
J's, it's like I'm
yeah,
getting confused.
John is Lisa's husband,
Okay, got it. Thank
John
you. That
Barlow.
was
And then
Lisa's
Justin
husband.
is Whitney's husband.
Thank you.
Justin Rose. Yeah. So that was that. That was ooh. And then okay, so let's get to the next day because the next day, you guys, this is a whole other level of petty. We see Whitney and Justin in their house, and here is Justin dumping out, pouring out every single alcohol product of Lisa Barlow's. And you could tell even Whitney was like, are you really gonna throw all that away? And then he was like, yeah.
She was like, "Do you want to give it to someone?"
He was like, no, I'll give it to the drain. No, he was that's petty, but I loved it. What did you think of that? Wasn't that funny?
I don't like him because
Really?
I feel like doing that it just added fuel to the fire. Like it wasn't that deep. He didn't have to pour all the alcohol down the drain. Because, like you said, even Whitney was kind of like, "You're doing too much." To me, that's what her face was giving when she was looking at him. Like, "You're
Yeah,
doing the most." I
for
felt like he
sure.
was doing the most, and I don't like when men are too petty. And he definitely gave me super petty.
I listen.
I don't like when anyone's too petty. Let's
I
start
did.
there.
I just. I don't know. I found it hilarious because we know how much Lisa loves her company and Vida Tequila, and for him to just be pouring it down. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. And then we see Lisa and John also as well that same morning talking, and John pretty much has no remorse. And Lisa, did you catch the part where she's done with Whitney and she says she's gonna have to pay me to look at her?
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh damn, Lisa. Okay. So then we see Brittany go over to Heather's beauty laser lab, and it's funny because Heather's like, "Oh my gosh." No, Brittany says last night was crazy, and Heather says, yeah, did you watch the fight? And Brittany's like, oh, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about my situation with Jared and all that. And as she's talking, Heather pretty much says, listen, I want to say this to you. You're looking like an insane person. And Brittany was like, that's so hurtful. But my question to you, Shan, is I mean, obviously Heather's telling the truth. Brittany is looking like a, insane person. But do you think as a friend she should have said it like that? Do you think it was
Yes.
time for her to just say like not sugarcoat it, you look insane? Or what do you think?
Yes. I think Brittany needed to hear that. And I think that I love an honest friend, right?
Hmm.
Tell me the truth. Tell me how you feel. And somebody had to tell the girl, somebody had to do it. Because she is looking crazy.
Hmm.
Her first season on the show, all we know about her is this man, Jared, or whatever his name is. I'm glad Heather told her the truth because we were all thinking that. Like, girl.
And I do feel bad for her, don't get me wrong. She was say like none of her daughters talked to her. So it's a whole other, that's bad. And she said that her mom just died. So I can see how she's going through a lot, but she needs to wake up because she's coming out here looking like a mess on national television. So yes, we're glad that Heather told her.
Right. And it's her first season. Like, we want to know about you a little bit away from this man. Who are you aside from this man?
Right. We then see a scene with Bronwyn and her husband. They go eat at this little weird place that had like little things where you go inside, and Bronwyn, that's where we hear Bronwyn come up with the idea because they're going to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary. So why not have like a couple's getaway to go watch some races? And so they're going to invite Bronwyn is not going to invite Brittany. She don't even like Brittany. And so she's like no. She doesn't really want to invite Heather, but she's like she'll see. And then she also talks to her husband about her daughter Gwen possibly, looking into reaching out to her paternal grandparents. But the husband did not look happy about this at all. And Bronwyn really isn't either, but she doesn't want to let her feelings get in the way of Gwen. Did you have any opinions about that, about her husband or about the conversation?
I went to use the bathroom. Because I could take or leave Bronwyn on the show. But
Really?
yeah, her costumes at the
Oh yeah, we
airport.
found out that she goes to pick up her husband at the
I'm
airport
like, what the hell?
with inflatable costumes.
I'd be like, security. She got a white refrigerator. No.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like I like that Bronwyn is not letting her feelings get in the way of her daughter feelings. Like I'm glad that she's letting her daughter form her own opinions about her
Yeah.
family and
Hmm.
stuff. So I respect that. She's not like trying to turn her daughter against them or nothing like that. She's just saying it's your decision. And so I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Her husband really does look way older than her though.
Yeah.
Like that could be her father. But anyway,
And
um, then we see another scene of Brittany. This is the thing, Shan. The way Brittany, the amount of scenes that Brittany has had this season, I almost wonder why is she not full time with these other ladies up here. Like she's in the show a lot. But anyway, she had this.
really? Because I never remember her until she shows up.
Well, yeah, well, I didn't say the scenes were good, but she's been in a lot of scenes. Like she had that scene with Jared at the restaurant. Um, Obviously when the whole thing at the party happened, and now with Heather, and I just feel like it's a lot for a friend of the show. But anyway,
That is true. That is a good point.
she has another scene where she's having some Mormon family night, I think it's called. So she invited Heather and Angie, and they do their thing. They sing the gospel and read the Bible and all that. And then as when that's over, Heather and Angie get into it because Bronwyn told Angie that Heather went to go tell Lisa that Angie told her. Oh, it's so complicated that she was a
Yeah.
bad mom, right? Not a bad mom, but like she didn't let her kids use electronics.
A game of telephone.
Yes, a game of telephone for sure. So Angie's mad at Heather for telling Lisa that. By the way, Heather is mad at Bronwyn for because Heather doesn't like the fact that it was Bronwyn who told Angie that Heather told Lisa. So Heather just really does not like Bronwyn at all for that. Do you agree with Heather that Bronwyn shouldn't have told Angie?
I feel like Angie deserves to know because I feel like Heather kind of dragged it. Like
Right.
put 20 on 10. I don't think Angie was saying that Lisa was a bad mom. I feel like she was genuinely saying, like, I have to do certain things and, your kids play games, my kid don't, whatever. I don't feel like she was saying that, but I feel like the way Heather brought it to Lisa probably made it seem like she was saying Angie was saying she was a bad mom. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like Heather does the most, and Heather is giving me Ashley vibes this season, which is not
Yes.
a compliment at all.
I agree with you. No, and you're right because when they actually filmed that scene, Angie does say to Heather, I have to take care of my daughter. I can't just let her, play video games until 2 a.m.
Right,
It was a general statement.
right. And
Like she
every
didn't say
kid
it.
requires different things. Some kids can play video game all day, other kids can't. It's just like,
Well,
no,
I
I
don't
don't
know
think.
about that. I don't know about that.
Well, not play video.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're
Okay, what
not
I'm
giving
saying is
parent
every kid
advice.
is different. So what I got from it was she was saying that her kid needed her attention, and that's fine.
Yeah, and in the
I don't think she
after
was saying.
show,
I generally don't think Angie was saying anything bad.
she was. No, and here's
Like
my
to
thing, because
be.
there was also a scene that was in this episode where Lisa is with her sister, and she told her that part of the reason why this comment of Angie has really affected her is because her older son left to go to his mission, and her younger son is now kind of like alone and doesn't really have friends, and she did a party for him and nobody came, which I thought that was really sad. I would
I
hate, like, that's
know
the
that
saddest
broke
thing
my
ever.
heart. Yeah,
So yes, I understand why, because she's going through that so much, she that comment really affected her.
he's sensitive to that.
But again, I'm gonna have to say to Lisa, I don't care if you're sensitive to it, because at the end of the day, the only reason we're having this conversation was because when you were swearing Angie up and down, you say out of the blue, Why don't you go take care of your daughter like you always do? She brought it up out of nowhere. So that's why I
She
can't feel
involved the
bad
kids
for
first.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't feel bad for Lisa. Like, she invoked the child, deal with it. But anyway, yeah, so Heather's mad that Bronwyn told Angie, but Angie's telling Heather, and then Angie kind of calls out Heather. She says, "Listen, um, I've seen you defend people even when they're wrong, because like you want to be in the cool club." And Heather's like, "Are you talking about Jenn?" And Angie's like, "Yeah, yeah." But I think Angie's correct on that, Shan. I do think that there's something with Heather that she might need to go to therapy. She will if there's like a cool person, which at the time it was Jen Shaw, now it's Lisa. I do think that she likes to like align herself with the cool person, and it's almost like she wants to fight everybody else on behalf of that cool person, so that cool person can accept him. Does that make sense?
Right. To fit in, like,
To
yeah,
fit
I'm on the
in,
side
yeah,
of the cool kids.
right.
That's what it definitely gives. I'm thinking, Heather, how old are you? 12 and a half? Like, come on. Give us your story. What is Heather's story in the show? Her storyline.
This season, nothing.
Right.
Because
And
listen,
I used to like Heather a
me
lot
too, me too.
past seasons. But this season, she's not, like I said, she reminded me of an Ashley character.
Listen, when the show first started, Heather was one of my favorites. She was open,
Mine
she
too.
was vulnerable. She opened up about, being divorced, how that affected her, how she wasn't a perfect Mormon. We saw how she was raising her daughters. She would always be like, funny and making jokes on herself and in other situations. I think I told you this last time. I don't know, but maybe the Ozempic took away her funny bone or something because I'm not
You
enjoying her.
messy.
I don't know. She as soon as she got skinny, all the fun just left.
Oh.
The good old
But
Heather.
Heather, you definitely twisted how it was. Listen, the thing. It's not even what you say; it's how you said it, right? So I feel like the way she said it to Lisa definitely made Lisa upset and furious.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm glad Angie called her out like she should.
Right.
Okay. So then the last scene of the episode. Oh no, before that. Justin and John meet
The
up.
husbands beat up. Yep.
Yep. And I actually really liked it because these guys are friends. Like, they actually do like each other. And I like the fact that they were like, okay, you know what? We're friends. Let's try to talk this out. And the conversation was going extremely well. John explained that the reason he stepped up to him was because he saw a certain anger in Justin. And when he saw that Justin took a step forward to approach Lisa, that's where his instincts came in. And I totally get it. I respect it. And like, I applaud him for that. Justin says, okay, well, what about the second time when I was just standing there and you came at me? And John says, I think that was just like a buildup of like the whole, like, the energy. Okay. So everything was fine. John apologizes. But then John says, do you think you need to apologize to Lisa? And that's where Justin's like, wow. Here's my thing, Shan. I think this would have been a perfect lunch to just squash it. I don't think that John should ask Justin to apologize to Lisa. Because if Justin has to apologize to Lisa, then Lisa needs to apologize to Justin for even going at him in the first place.
I agree. I was surprised when he was like, "No, I'm not ready to apologize," or whatever he said. I feel like John was trying to defend his wife, right? Lisa's husband. And I feel like Justin should just apologize, and Lisa should apologize to him as well, because she walked up to him and told him about his wife. So your only reaction is to defend their wife. I think both of them were defending their wife, but all I could think was, what is Lisa and her husband gonna think when they see him on TV pouring her business liquor down the drain?
Well,
That's
actually,
what I was thinking because I feel like Lisa is so, like you said, so about her business. I
hmm
feel like that is just gonna make her furious.
well,
Like,
here's the thing. So I don't know if you've caught onto this, cause but Salt Lake City is now doing an after show. After each episode, there's like a little after show, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a little. It's their commentary on the episode, and I did not like the fact that Lisa made fun of Justin's looks.
she did when
Yes, she did. Let
in
me
this
see if I can.
episode.
Let me see if I can, in the after show. Yes, let me see if I can pull it up right here on my phone
Oh,
just to show the audio. Um, I didn't think this was cool at all. Listen to this. She's doing her after in the after show.
mhm.
Different housewives are with different housewives, so like it'll be like,
Yeah, I know about it. I just
oh,
don't
you know,
watch.
but okay, yeah, okay. So
Yeah, I've heard of it.
she's doing her after show with
They
Brittany,
watch it and give their
and
opinions on what happened.
listen to what Aunt Lisa said. Oh my gosh.
Has cute dimples. I wouldn't ever
I hear it.
expect him to have that kind of reaction.
I have a very different feeling than that.
I wasn't
and he
there.
looks like
I
a Who from
left.
Whoville. Like he, every time I look at him, I'm like, you belong in
My
Whoville.
gosh. Has cute dimples.
She said he
The
looks like
Whoville?
somebody from Whoville.
That's messed up. I don't think she's. I agree with you. I don't think she should talk about the looks. Like,
That's where you. That's where
looks are a little low.
that is when you go low. Like, and she did not have to say it at all. Brittany said, "Oh, he has cute dimples." So for Lisa to be like, "Oh, I don't agree with you. He actually looks uh like somebody
He
from
belongs in
belongs in
Whoville.
Whoville." Lisa, here we go again. When you make comments like this, just like you said to Angie, go take care of your daughter. You open the door for things to come your way, and when they do, I don't want to hear you crying about who. If Whitney goes and says something about your long ass husband, I don't want to hear you cry or whatever.
And
So that was unnecessary. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think Justin needs to apologize to Lisa, but at this point, Lisa definitely needs to apologize to him for saying that. And I hope Whitney listens to that so that at this reunion she can drag her. 'Cause you're not allowed. No, that's her husband. She can't be making
yeah,
fun of his
no, I
legs.
agree. She
No,
shouldn't have
no,
said that, made that comment. But some
absolutely not.
comments, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, just apologize. Okay, and then the last scene of the episode, like I said, Bronwyn is trying to decide if she should invite Heather. So she invites Heather to her house. I want to hear your point of view, Shan, on Bronwyn's house also. The thing about it is, I loved it. I really did. But, Bronwyn, please pick up after your dogs if you're going to have company over. That was so disgusting. There was pee and of the dog just. Oh.
I don't like her decor. I like a modern chic decor
Mm-hmm.
style. Whose house did I see that I'm like, whoa? I can't think of it now, but I didn't like her decor.
I like her decor only because I'm also really into like. I know not everybody's like this, but I love like a unique, weird, artistic type of vibe thing. I don't know why. I really do. Don't get me wrong. I love like a simple look, like elegant. I love that for sure. But I also definitely like the crazy vibes. Um, but I would if I had a house, I would kind
You
of
like some character in the house,
yes, but I feel like I would
something
just kind of
unique.
if I had a house, I feel like I would have like kind of like a crazy room, like a room with crazy pictures and crazy paintings and crazy art. But I don't know about the whole house. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
like you want your house to feel a little unique, a little different, a little bit of
yeah,
character, a little charm than
just a
just
little bit, yeah. And
neutral.
her husband travels a lot because did you see all the cups that he
The
had? He
problems,
collects them.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah. So then Bronwyn and Heather sit down, and this did not go well. And I know Shan we're probably gonna disagree over this, but I thought Heather looked horrible because in my this was my perspective. You tell me yours. In my perspective, Bronwyn owned up to what she did. but she was waiting for Heather to do the same so they could kind of just move forward. But in my opinion, Heather came in with horrible attitude, thinking she was better than Bronwyn, and she was just so defensive, so aggressive. Bronwyn was like, "Listen, I apologize for what I did," and Heather's like, "Well, why'd you even invite me here?" And Bronwyn's like, "Oh, because I'm doing a trip and I wanted to see if we could move past things." And Heather's like, "Oh, so I'm here to earn an invite?" Just little things like that. I was like, what is going on with Heather, bro? But tell me your perspective.
I thought the same thing. I was like, why did she go inside on 10? Like, she already went in with like sassiness and attitude. It's like she didn't go in thinking, like, okay, I'm going to try to take accountability and move forward. She took no accountability at all. I'm glad Bronwyn said, yeah, I did this and I did that. But Heather was like, no, da 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 da. I was like, why is Heather so fired up? The only thing I think, in my opinion, I think that Heather genuinely does not like Bronwyn for some reason we don't know about.
Heather cannot stand
I just feel
Bronwyn.
like she doesn't like her. There's some people you just like, you just don't like. I feel like that's Heather to Bronwyn. Like, I feel like no matter what Bronwyn does, Heather's gonna be like, you're
Right.
wrong.
I feel like
I don't know why, but I
I
feel
feel
like
like
she just doesn't like her at all.
I feel like Bronwyn could be eating a piece of chicken and Heather would be like, why is
Right.
she eating it like that?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's giving those vibes, which doesn't come across super pleasant as a viewer. It kind of does come across as a mean girl. Um, so yeah, I was definitely I disagree with Shan. I did not like Bronwyn at all the first few episodes, but I really like her now. I really do. And here we got a
Still
newbie
don't for me.
she put Heather in her place, just like we're about to talk about
Did
the other
she
show.
though?
I think she did because she said she kind of kicked her out the house. Not really, but kind of. And when she left, she says to her, "I hope you get some self-awareness."
Yeah, she definitely needs self-awareness.
So I love that we have a newbie calling out a Heather in Salt Lake City, just like in OC, we've got a newbie calling out a Heather in the OC. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. But yes, the newbies are coming for the Heather.
Dropped Mike. I just caught what you did
You
there.
caught that? You caught
I
that?
just caught that. Look at you,
Yeah.
very clever. Period.
Yeah.
That's my
So
friend.
yeah, we got people we got newbies that are gonna get put the Heathers in their place, all Heathers. And that was pretty much it. So Heather will not be going to the trip, which, to be honest, Shan, actually, I think it's probably for the best because at the end of the day, she would have been the only person there without a husband. So,
That's true. If I was Bronwyn, I wouldn't even invite her to my house. We would have went to a coffee shop because you brought all this negativity.
yeah, I really don't think Bronwyn was expecting Heather to come like that. Um,
Why did she come so fired up? Like, everything she had a rebuttal towards. And I was like, huh. That's
right.
interesting. That's what I'm telling you. I could tell. I feel like in my heart that she just doesn't like her. Just doesn't like her. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see about that. And that was the end of the episode. But then, you guys, we saw the preview. This is going to turn this show next week is going to turn into Love and Marriage Salt Lake City. It's gonna be a couples trip, and it looks like the men are gonna get in the drama, and it looks like I don't know how I feel about that. Some people are not looking forward to that, Shan, because they don't want it to be like Jersey or Love and Marriage Huntsville where you got these husbands getting into it. Um, I'm looking forward to it because there's drama, and it looks like Bronwyn is gonna kick Lisa out. Which, if she does, I will love Bronwyn forever. But we're gonna have to wait and see. Do you have any opinions on that little preview that we saw?
I disagree. I will, like, I don't really care for Bronwyn now. And so the way she's turning on her friend Heather, Lisa, from what I see from the trailer, like, it's like, I don't know. Because they came in saying they're close friends. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
hope she's not letting the TV show get in the way of their friendship.
Right.
And
Kind
that's
of, kind of like when you let a TV show get in the way of your 10-year friendship, and you call your best friend a piece of is garbage whore, kind of like that.
Oh, you put me. Remind me.
Mm, that's why I'm telling you with
You
Lisa.
know, you're right. You are right. You have a point. Okay.
Right, with Lisa, like I want to like her, Shan, but then it's little things like what she said about Justin, or this and that, or what she said with when she brought up Angie's daughter, or even going back to the big thing, her saying that to Meredith, who they were. I don't know about Lisa. I don't know, but that was the end of the episode. Any final thoughts, Shan,
I'm
on this?
really upset right now, Manny. I'm gonna call my cybersecurity.
Yes,
Let
and
me stop.
the police department,
I
and
like Lisa. I don't know why. I like her. I
she's
like
good
her
for
on
the
the show.
show.
I like her on the
Yeah,
show.
she's good for the show. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, absolutely. But as far as mm, I don't know. But anyway, like I said, Shan, any last thoughts on this episode of Salt Lake City?
No, it was a good episode.
It really was. All right, let's get now to our favorite show, The Real Housewives of Orange County. Hands down, you guys, when it comes to The Real Housewives, I don't care what city it is, Potomac, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, this current season of Orange County has to be like top 5 of all time.
Yeah,
It
every episode gave what it needed to give.
mhm, absolutely. So unfortunately though, everything that's good has to come to an end. So this was the season finale. Um yeah. Let's get started into this finale. So, we find out that when the girls all came back from the London trip, Jenn went to the Bahamas with Ryan and they got engaged. Did you like her ring, Shan? From a girl's perspective, I'm curious what you thought of the ring.
I like the ring for her, but I feel like it's so big. That's like I like it. It's beautiful.
Do you think it was expensive just by looking at it?
It looks expensive to me. Yeah.
Yes, I was just so happy for her, and they showed us a little clip of them
I know. It was
getting
cute.
engaged and stuff. So yeah, I really, really was happy for her. And like I said, she's gonna have like an engagement party, I guess you could call it, being thrown by Alexis and Katie, and the theme is going to be messy bridesmaids. Was it?
Like bad bridesmaids outfits, like ugly dresses, bridesmaid
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
edition,
Yeah.
something like that.
And she told this to Shannon, Gina, and Emily, because they all went to do some axe throwing. So that was that. Then on another scene, we see Travis and Gina. So they're talking about their relationship, and Gina kind of shares that it's been really hard because Travis's ex-wife is a lot to handle. Now, what do you think about that? Because wait, I can't
My
remember.
only. Mhm.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, does Travis have kids with his ex-wife?
That's what I was about to ask. Oh my gosh.
I was thinking that the whole episode because I was like, because to me, I feel like once you're divorced, you could kind of like let go of the person, unless you have kids, right? I feel like if you have kids together, you're always going to be a part of each other's lives in some capacity. But I was just thinking, does he have kids with this woman?
That's a good question. I think he probably does. I think he probably does, and that's the reason why that woman will always be in their lives, like in some way, because she is the mother. So
Right.
that sucks. I can tell that he does not like being separated. He wants to get back together, but she's like, okay, we have to wait. And she said that they're gonna get couples counseling. My only question, and I said this on my recap to Gina, would be: Do you think that realistically you could eventually get back together though? Because I don't think it would be fair to kind of just keep him waiting. Does that make sense?
Right. I don't know. I'm just thinking, is she into him? like that much as she says she is. Because
Mm,
who wouldn't want to live in the same house with a man? But apparently it's because of his drama with his ex-wife.
right.
But it's hard because we don't know the story. So it's just we're looking at her like,
Yeah, we definitely don't
it's
know the full
interesting
story.
you wanted him to move out and like live separate and stuff like that.
Why is she always talking about his balls? Have
Right.
you caught that? She's like his balls. Yeah. So, Gina, listen, Gina, you have been so good this season, like so much better than the others. That I really wish you the best because you've literally been the definition of a supportive friend to Shannon. You really have.
I agree,
So
100%. Thank
we
God
wish
she
you
had Gina and Emily.
and
Yeah.
Emily, yes, honestly. So we wish you the best, Gina. And then we get to the party. So did you like the party? Did you like the theme or the outfit or the venue or the decorations stuff like
No,
that?
no, I hated everything.
You hated everything. Oh my god,
Yes.
what did you
And then I
hate,
feel like what's her name? Alexis.
Alexis?
Is her name Alexis? Yeah.
Yes.
She didn't look like she was wearing an ugly dress. And it's her party. Like what Heather was saying in her confessional. Like, it's your party. Get into the theme. You know what I mean? She
Mm-hmm.
just threw on a black dress.
Some of them did not go as the theme. You're right. Emily did not. I thought it was a little inappropriate for Emily to wear white.
That's what the point was. Because if you went to a wedding, you should never wear white to a wedding. Because the bride wear white. So her point was, I'm gonna wear white because that would be tacky if I went to a wedding as a bride.
Oh, I see. I see. So, like that's
Yeah.
technically a bad
Yeah.
bridesmaid. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. But her dress was nice though. Um,
Was it? Yeah.
I can't really remember. I thought it was. Um, yeah. Heather had this blue thing on.
She
Katie,
looked a tacky mess. She
Ka- uh,
understood the assignment.
Jen did too. Jen looked really tacky.
Yeah.
It was her party, but yeah. So yeah, you're not blown away by the party.
No, I don't know who let Alexis plan a party. Like, we didn't miss her when she was not in any of the scenes.
So true. So true.
And I feel like because Jen and Katie seem close, I don't trust Katie. We'll get to that. But Jen and Katie seem close. I was surprised it wasn't Katie throwing Jen a party. Because you know how they're like the two musketeers in some episodes?
Well, it looked like Katie was part of it. Like it looked like she was helping Alexis. So I think it was both of them. But anyway, everyone's arriving, right? And when Heather gets there, Katie and her husband just kind of like walk and don't say hi to her. And now Heather's all in her feelings about being snubbed. But I thought that was funny. Like, why should they say hi to you?
They did it to each other.
Exactly.
They didn't say
Thank you,
hi.
Shan.
They didn't say hi.
Thank you.
Both
Thank you.
parties didn't say hi.
Thank you. You're so right. You put that. You put that perfectly. None of them can be mad because they both did it mutually. Yes, you're right on that. So eventually in the party, though, you guys, Emily and Katie have a conversation about the babysitting drama. Emily says that when Kylie babysat her boys, it was perfect, but that when Kylie left, the boys told Emily, "Mom, Kylie told us some things about Heather that are bad." Katie says, "Well, that's interesting because Kylie actually told me that the boys said it to her and that they all kind of like bonded over it." And even in her confessional, Kylie's like, "Why would I lie about that? Like, we were just having a little funny conversation, me and the boys." Katie says, "Maybe I should ask Kylie because it wouldn't be okay if she lied." Shan, did you catch how quickly Emily was like, "Well, that's not the point."
Yes and no.
So
Because why would you ask your daughter if she lied about it? You should automatically think, my daughter doesn't lie. You get it? That's what I was looking at Katie funny because I was like, you have to verify if your daughter lied or not, pretty much.
no, but I mean, of course she's gonna have to verify. Her daughter's like 18 almost, so yeah, maybe
No,
she.
I would be standing there like, my daughter doesn't lie. Like, why would she lie about that? Not my daughter doesn't lie. I would say my daughter wouldn't lie about
But
that.
can you really put your hands in the fire if you don't know that it's true?
Do you remember the clip when Katie's son was at the table talking about Heather that they threw in there?
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Mom,
From that told me all I need
is
to know.
Heather still being a jerk to you?
Yeah. So to me, I feel like I believe that I don't believe Emily's kids were talking about Heather from that clip because clearly Katie's kids know what's going on from the clip they show. Her son is so young.
He's
Why
9.
would he even say that? Clearly, there's stuff being said about Heather in that house. So I believe Emily, and
I
I
don't
don't
know,
trust
Shan,
Katie.
because Emily kept saying, my kids are 9. They don't even know who Heather is. I don't believe that because we got to remember ourselves, everybody. Please remember yourselves when all of us were 9 years old. We knew what the hell was going on. Like we knew who was who. We knew Emily might not think that she's talked about Heather in front of her kids, but do you just think about it, Shan? The amount of times Emily cried this season over the whole thing about the jeans, you really think she didn't say it at home? And do you really think that the kids didn't overhear? Kids hear everything.
That's a good point. But did we see a clip of Emily's son saying stuff about Heather?
No.
Right.
Which, by the way, I don't fault. I thought that little kid was so cute and so funny when he said that. I really do. So I don't really.
I don't fault him at all. He's
I don't fault
adorable.
Katie though. I don't fault Katie.
Scene, but what I'm saying is, like, Katie, I feel like, how would he know? There's definitely stuff being said in the house.
Oh, for sure. But like, isn't that every house? I mean, I
But
know.
Katie's making it seem like it was Emily's kid. You know what I mean?
No. Kylie said that.
Right. Kylie, yeah. Kylie's making it seem like it was Emily's kid.
Right. And
I
and
don't know what to believe.
and like I said to you that when this first came out, I don't think Kylie should have shared it. I think she could have shared it with her mom, with Katie in the house, but I don't think she should have said it on camera because those at the end of the day, those are little kids, so you don't want to put them in. You don't want to get them involved in that stuff. So
Exactly.
I do agree that Kylie shouldn't have repeated it. But can we go back to the point that this was really all Tamra? Because Tamra's the one that brought it up at the trip
True.
with the negative intentions. So F Tamra for that. But anyway, Katie is saying to Emily that, yeah, when Kylie said it, it wasn't with bad intentions. They were just kind of all giggling about it. And that's when Miss Fancy Pants says, giggling about me being mean? And Katie says, yeah, with a big ass smile on her face. And that really pissed off Heather. And Heather's like, keep smiling. And Heather's like, yeah, I will. Katie says, yeah, I will. Because you keep getting on my face, trying to shut me up, and I'm done with it. Heather then says, because you're boring and you lie. And Katie says, no, you lied. And you swore on your kids, so you lied. Shan, that was a beautiful moment for me. I loved
I'm
Katie
really laughing.
I loved Katie putting Heather in her place. I really did.
In this event, I was Team Heather.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I know Heather been showing her ASSS this season, but I feel like now you're coming for me with the kids. Like you already came for me before, and now you involving kids. That's why I was like, I don't know. I don't trust Katie, and I don't think she's needed on the show.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I would love to see Katie on the show, and
What did she bring to the show?
Putting Heather in her place.
That part.
No,
that part. She did put Heather in her place. I agree.
Yes,
But
and I agree with you. The content of it, the fact that it does involve kids, and that it makes me uncomfortable. I'm looking at it. I'm kind of looking at the bigger picture of it. Like she got Heather riled up, and she didn't let her intimidate her.
Which I was surprised because Heather's been intimidating you the whole time.
Yeah, I wonder what happened, like for her to just be like,
Everybody was on 10 today from Heather but Heather, this is the thing. Like I'm saying, in this situation, because I felt like I would be annoyed if it's like, okay, you're laughing because people think I'm mean. Did you get that? Like little kids are supposed to think because little kids are so innocent and they think like the world is wonderful. And so that you're laughing that kids think I'm mean. That made me
well, yeah,
be like,
but like
"Mean?"
when we were all kids, Shan, we all knew, like we all had that one teacher that everybody was like, oh, she's mean,
That's true.
or
Maybe
that
I'm too
aunt.
old to remember.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people when talking about kids, always try to remember yourself when
A
you were
grain of
little.
salt, right? Take it with
Yeah.
salt. That is true. That is true. But I feel like Heather had a right to feel some type of way.
Well, we'll
Well,
let's see the reunion and see what goes on. But I really, really applaud Katie. So then Tamara goes up to Jen because according to Tamara, and you notice how Tamara had a whole different tone in this finale. Shan, she was like quiet and she was like very nice. And she was like caring, and she was telling Jen, I really like. I need to show you that it was that it was Shannon, who wanted to do all of this. And I love the fact that Jen said, nope. Even if that's true, all the other things that you have done, you did them by yourself. It didn't require Shannon. And Tamara says, I'm not here to fight with you. And Jen says, then you can leave.
when I tell you, I love how Jen is standing on business. Jen is the definition of standing on business these past two episodes. Because this is what you're not gonna do, sweetie, Miss Tamara. You're not gonna just throw, oh, this is all on Shannon and think we're gonna forget what you do. No, sweetie. And I love that Jen said that to her.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So then they all gather around to take, like, I guess that in every finale they like to take a group picture. They take a group picture, and freaking Emily is trying to get Tamara and Shannon to talk. And Shannon says, absolutely not. I I literally had to leave a trip that I planned because of this woman. I'm not talking to her. I'm leaving. So she leaves. Do you give her props for leaving? I do.
100%.
Yeah. But then this is
That
where
is,
things get messy.
yes.
Oh my god. Shannon walks away because she says that's growth. She goes to the first stranger that she sees on site. This poor old white guy just leaning on the thing, who happens to be Katie's husband, and says, I'm just done with it. Like, I'm done. When I say I'm done, I'm done. And that's called growth. She's just going off on this poor guy. And this poor guy's like, what happened? And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with that. And then she's like, why don't you just call it quits? And then all of a sudden, you guys, Shannon says, well, first of all, you don't know me. So that's very disrespectful. That poor guy is just like, but you came up to me. Like, I just. And then he started to get sassy. And it got to the point where Shannon left and he's like, goodbye. And Shannon's like, unbelievable. Shan, were you as confused as I was?
That's what I was going to say. I have to rewatch that part. Because I was so confused. I was like, what happened? I was confused. And so then I'm thinking, like, when you explained it just now, I watched it, but then you explained it. I'm like, okay, maybe Shanna was thinking he's saying, like, leave the show. And she's probably like, no, I'm not leaving. These girls eat from my paycheck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Uh-huh.
don't know why she got so defensive.
It was weird. And I hate to
Yeah,
say this,
definitely.
but uh, it kind of makes her look like the things they were accusing her of. And I'm talking about John and Alexis. And I hate to
I
say
don't know.
that.
She she took it way too serious. But I feel like He probably was talking about leaving the event. Like, why don't you just take a break, leave, whatever. But I think she took it as like maybe leaving the show. Like, who are you to tell me to take a break from the show? That's the only thing that kinda makes sense in my mind. Cause I was like, why did she get so upset with him?
Okay, listen to this.
It was weird. I'm confused about that scene.
What happened?
I used to say all the time, I'm done. And then I'd
Can
come
you
back.
hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
What happened?
I used to say all the time, I'm done. And then I'd come back. When I say I'm done now, I mean it. I'm done.
And maybe it's time to walk away. Because I care about you and you've been kind
But
to
see,
me.
that angers me that you say that because you don't know me at all. And I am probably the strongest person here in this group.
Shannon Bedore is not out the door.
Me
So then why are you here with me right now?
Because
You're telling me that you're melting
Are you
down.
trying to argue with me right now? Because
You just tried to argue with me. You're the one here. I'm standing here by myself.
All right, have a good night.
Goodbye.
Are you kidding me right now?
I love you, Shannon. I love you so much, but you came across as a crazy person right there.
Yeah. I don't know why she got so defensive.
It was just weird.
But I'm gonna give her some grace. Just because of the season she'd had. I don't know. Maybe she's
you're
just like over it with everyone.
Right.
But I
Okay.
didn't get it. It was the most random scene ever.
So random. But let's wrap this up, you guys. So then that was the end of the season. Jenn and Ryan happily. But wait. Cameras picked back up 3 weeks later because it was all over the articles and stuff that the FBI was possibly going to be looking into Ryan. And they did some scenes where they started shooting the women's reactions. I don't know about you, Shan, but I really didn't like when Tamra, Heather, Emily, and who was it? Who else was it? I think it was just them, right? Yeah. And Alexis.
I think
And Alexis, they got together and they started laughing about it, and Tamara put it on an FBI hat.
excuse me.
I just thought that was so distasteful and like immature. I didn't like that at all. And Ryan tells Katie that everything's gonna be fine. Then the last scene is Katie going over to I'm sorry, not Katie. The last scene is Jenn
Jenn.
going over to Katie, and Gina was there as well. And Gina and Katie just tell Jenn that they want what's best for her. And Jenn was just crying and crying, 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 and crying. I feel bad for her. You know what part really I felt bad for Shan is when when Gina said, there's a lot of red flags in your relationship. And Jenn said, why? I was married to a man who wouldn't care about
I
me. And
know.
with him, I can talk to about anything. He tells me everything. We talk about everything. I was like, that's so sad because she clearly is getting all the love she never had. She's getting it from Ryan. But he has caused a lot of problems, you know? What did you think about that when you saw that?
I felt so bad for Jenn because here you have this woman who's starting a new life and whatnot, and like you said, she said like, "Oh, my husband wouldn't even talk to me," type of thing. What did she say? She was like, "I couldn't really have a conversation with him or whatnot," whatever she said, right?
Yeah.
I just felt like you said, she's finally getting this love, and it's like she's right at the edge of happily ever after, right? And then this happens. It's like, damn. And what do you do, right? Because it's like she's like saying this is a good man and he's my best friend, and then now this happens. I don't like how Tamara and the rest of them was like going off, like, oh, he did this, he's that. I was just thinking like, I thought it was his friend or what. I was confused because I was like innocent till proven guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like they all were acting like he was convicted of something already.
Right, or even charged, which he wasn't even.
Yeah, they all were just like going off. And I felt like I personally would have saved my opinion until I see like, okay, was he charged with this or whatever? Because isn't it just rumors? And that's why I feel like Jenn is having a hard time believing it. Because she's like, think of it. To her, she's like, this is such a good man to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's there for me and my kids. And then now I hear these things about him. I just don't know why they're so adamant about kind of believing it.
Right.
Like, I feel like I would save my opinion until more things come out. And then Tamara with the FBI hat. She just loves kicking people when they're down.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could think of it. Like, why would you get a whole FBI hat? That was very tacky. Very tacky. And
So
Jenn is such a sweetheart. She deserves the happiness. And then, you know what's funny? Didn't Tamara send Jenn a text message? They showed it in the episode where she was like, you deserve all the happiness in the world and all this. And then when you hear that things are going bad in her relationship, you're like, yeah, let me just get the FBI hat.
That part.
You know?
That part right there. Yeah. And Tamara, she was trying to have like a I told you so moment, but like you said, there was no charges, there was no indictment, there was no nothing. So she was just reaching. But then you guys, we see a legal note that yes, Ryan's business partner did plead guilty and he might get 18 years, I think it was.
Like,
and it said that Ryan has full immunity. Now, if we know anything about anything, even if you haven't gone to law school or graduated,
if you watch Law and Order,
yes, you know. Tell them, Shan, how do you get immunity?
No comment.
When you've got information on somebody, those prosecutors will most of the time tell you, listen, tell us all the details, and even though you might be guilty, we'll give you immunity.
Yeah, allegedly.
No, that's not alleged. That's how it actually happened.
No, it's not alleged. We're talking about him.
With Ryan, yes. With Ryan is alleged, but that's what happens in real life. But with Ryan, I did think it was a little suspicious that it said he has full immunity. Because like I said, they don't just be giving immunity out like it's candy on Halloween.
Do you think we're going to see it play out next season?
I don't think so. I think that it's pretty much
over already.
I think it's over. I think the guy pleaded guilty. He has full immunity. That's it. Like, there's nothing else to talk about.
I wonder if Jenn is... Did they get married?
It said that they're going to get married in 2025.
Oh, yeah, 2025. Yeah.
So...
I really hope that she gets all the happiness she deserves.
Well, it looks like everything will be okay, though. I mean, if he has immunity and... But I would tell Ryan, if you had anything to do with your business partner, they might have offered immunity, but please, like... don't do it anymore if you did, because he's a good guy. I do think he's a good guy. I think he really does love Jenn.
I think so too. I think he really cares for her and really treats her
and her kids. Yeah.
And I love the scene where it was her and her son, Jenn and her son, and she was like, have I been doing better? Have I been like giving you space? I love when parents try to respect what your feelings are and try to be
really better. I'm not a big fan of that. Listen, if I'm your parent and you're staying up till 12 a.m. on a school night, I don't care about your space. You're getting your ass in this house now. You get what I mean?
No. What I was saying was, you know how some parents, you can't tell them anything because I'm the parent of your child.
That's true, yeah.
I feel like she let him express his feelings. And she tried to respect them.
Yeah.
So to me, I like that. Because I feel like a lot of parents, it's just like where I grew up, it's like, it's my way or the highway because I'm the parent, you're the child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be totally different. Like, I want to hear what you have to say and how you're feeling about this. And I'm not always right because I'm the parent. So I feel like that's what that moment gave. But you have me laughing, so you're like, hell no.
No, I'm not like that. No, I agree. I do think that with my children, I definitely do want them to always feel comfortable telling me everything. But I do also need them to understand that, we can be friends, like in that way, but I'm always going to be your parent. I am always going to have authority over you until you are 18. So that's just the one thing that I, kind of want them to know.
Yeah, I agree with that though.
For sure. Yeah, but for sure.
He said, "Hell no, you better get your butt in here."
Yeah, you better get in this house. No, but so yeah, things are looking good for Jen. Brian has immunity. Ryan has immunity, and hopefully they'll get married and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
And that was the end, you guys, of the Real Housewives of Orange County. But we'll be here next week talking about the reunion. And I think that's pretty much it for all the shows. Salt Lake City was good, Orange County was good, Potomac not really.
Potomac was trash.
Yeah, it kind of was, but I think it'll get better. But other than that, thank y'all so much. Shan, do you have any final words on OC or just on the show in general?
Well, thank you guys for watching, and this was so fun. It's always fun doing the show with you. I really love it, and I really look forward to doing it. It's so
Thank
fun.
you. Likewise. Yeah.
So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, guys.
All right, everyone. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.